And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Olive, Nina, and Esme. Olive, Nina, and Esme made Cinderella do all the chores. "Sweep the floors, wash the dishes," said Olive, Nina, and Esme. One day, the king of Onlyville's messenger said, hear ye, the king of Onlyville is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Singling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Olive said, he's going to marry me. Nina said, no way, Olive. He's going to marry me. Esme said, both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Singling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Cinderella what is wrong. Why are you crying, Cinderella? She asks. Cinderella responds, I wanted her to go to the ball and marry Prince Singling, but I'm not welcome. The fairy godmother waved her wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! And then, Cinderella's chores are all done. But the fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has one pumpkin. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! Again, and to turn Cinderella's do-rag and clothes into a gown. I've never seen such a wonderful gown. I get a load of my glass slippers, and then the pumpkin into a carriage drawn by 2 strong horses. The fairy godmother said, have fun, Cinderella, but I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Singling was wondering who he should marry. Olive, Nina, and Esme said all together, he's walking towards me. But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Singling dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Singling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled around Onlyville to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where her Cinderella and her stepsisters lived. He said, ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try this glass slipper? Olive is first, but her foot is too big. Nina is next, but her foot is too small. Esme is last, but her foot didn't fit either. Suddenly, Prince Singling noticed Cinderella singing. Wanderella said, Prince Singling, is that you? Prince Singling said, of course it's me. Wanderella gets so excited because she's having to have her Prince Singling back. And they lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story before bed, Hinder's Doors. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to my video. Take care. Bye and good night, everybody. Andrew's Doers. Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Wanderella 2, Wishes Come True. It's this. It is based on Cinderella 2, Dreams Come True. Once upon two times, Wanderella and Prince Singling were happily married. 6 months later, they are pregnant, but Wanderella is sick, so the baby might die. Wanderella's fairy godmother knows a spell that can cure her. She chants the magic words, Winnerty, Wannerty, One, and waves her magic wand, and the baby is cured. And the baby is a boy named Oliver. Olive, Nina, and Esme have a few tricks up their sleeves, though. They are complaining about not marrying Prince Singling. Another 6 months later, Oliver is almost 6 months old. And he can't wait to have his royal birthday party, and it's tomorrow. The next day is Oliver's royal birthday party. Wanderella asks, what about our gift, father-in-law? Oliver has now a magical necklace previously owned by the King of Onlyville when he was a baby. He needs to make a wish, rub the jewel on it, and the wish will come true. The King of Onlyville's imaginary wakes him up now. Sees that Olive, Nina, and Esme are breaking into the party. He says, oh no, they're trouble! Oh, big trouble! He then goes over to the king and tells him, Your Majesty, your son and daughter-in-law are in trouble. The King of Onlyville gets so infuriated, he yells, sound the alarm! The King of Onlyville blows a trumpet that the king's guards hear an attack. Olive, Nina, and Esme attempt to escape. Oliver said, and I wish Olive, Nina, and Esme are trapped, rubs the jewel on it. Olive, Nina, and Esme are now trapped in the castle's dungeon. And so, the birthday party is saved. And he, alongside his parents, lives happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doors, I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents you guys Andrew's Doors Wanderella 3, Love and Glee, the second sequel to Wanderella based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon 3 times, Wanderella and Prince Singling really loved each other. Well, that's about to change, thanks to Olive, Nina, and Esme, who are making a single forever breakup potion, the most evil magic potion known to Onlyville. The next day is Oliver's very first birthday party. Olive, Nina, and Esme sneak up behind a fence next to the gate to the party. Wanderella's fairy godmother tries to stop them, but Olive, Nina, and Esme steal her wand and lock her up, and then splash the potion on Wanderella and Prince Singling, who are breaking up. Oliver asks Wonderella's fairy godmother, "Is there anything I could do to reverse it?" Wonderella's fairy godmother explained that there's only one thing that can reverse the single forever breakup potion. The 1+1 bat together potion. It needs 10 apples from the garden of the whistling nose, 11 dashes of 1,000 unicorns, and the most important ingredient of all, one huge dose of love. First, Oliver needs 10 apples. The whistling nose is very kind. He even lets Oliver have his 10 apples from his trees. Next, he needs 11 dashes of 1,000 unicorns. Hey! The whistling nose already has 11,000 unicorns. Later, back at home, Oliver makes the 1+1 bat together potion, and Wonderella and Prince for Singling are bat together, and Wonderella's fairy godmother got her wand back. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doers, if you want to see maybe on someday Wonderella 4, The Legend of Mount Singlemore, tell your friends about it. And if you, maybe this can be a 22N daily tradition, etc. Take care, Andrew's Doers. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Wonderella 4, For Once on the Shore, a third sequel to Wonderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon 4 times, Wonderella and Prince Singling are taking Oliver to the beach for the very first time. Suddenly, Wonderella's fairy godmother arrives and says, "Singlings, I don't want to interrupt, but there's a 4-1 store heading for you. The only way to stop this is this magical pencil. Just write plus, minus, times, divide, parentheses, etc., and the 4-1 store will be gone." She then hands them a magical pencil that can stop the 4-1 storm. But the 4-1 storm is here. Oliver uses the magical pencil to solve it. 1 over 1 times over 1 equals 1. 1 over 1 plus 1 over 1 equals 2, etc. And the 4-1 stop is gone. Storm, that is. But Olive, Nina, and Esme have lots of tricks up their sleeves. They're in a submarine to steal Oliver and take him underwater. But their plan is interrupted by an evil Autopan named Wuncela. Wuncela then asks Olive, Nina, and Esme if they'd like to team up, and so they agree. Later, Queen Young and King Singleton's of One Lantis' messages sent when he saw Wuncela, Olive, Nina, and Esme. "Oh no, we're in trouble! Oh, big trouble! Oh no! And goes over to and tells Queen Wanya and King Sinton one of us about it by saying, "My lord and lady, Wuncela has escaped, and she teams up with her evil mortal ladies." King Sington gets so infuriated that he yells, "Sound the alarm!" Then Queen Wanya and King Sington's One Lantis' messenger blows a trumpet alarm that his guards hear. They're gonna attack. Wanya gets so infuriated about it. Olive, Nina, and Esme, however, say, "Don't worry, Wuncela, we'll stop them." And activate a submarine claw only for King Sington to use his trident to destroy the claw and submarine, resulting in it being damaged and sinking. Cinderella tries to swim after them to save them. But Cinderella's fairy godmother, Oliver and Kingston, combine their magic to drown Cinderella in an ice cube. Mommy! Whimpers Cinderella as she sinks in the ice cube. Later, back on the surface, Oliver returns and is getting ready to build sandcastles, and he, along with Cinderella and Prince Singly, lived happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doers, I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And don't forget to buy our merchandise, visit AndrewDoesEverything.com. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 15erella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named 15erella. 15erella had 7 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Fiona, Isabella, Farah, Tina, Eliza, Eloise, and Nina. All 7 of them made 15erella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Fiona to Nina all together. One day, the king of Quintacumbleham's messengers arrived and said, Hear ye, the king of Quintacumbleham is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Quintacumbling. But 15erella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. They then argue over who will marry Prince Quintacumbling. Later, 15erella is so sad doing chores about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Quintacumbling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother asks 15erella what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, 15erella? 15erella responds in whimper, I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Quintacumbling, but I have lots of chores to be done. 15erella's fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic. She chants the magic words, Quintadentity, Quintadentity, Quindu, and waves her magic wand. Because of that, 15erella's chores are done, but her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, 15erella, go fetch me a pumpkin. Luckily, 15erella has 15 pumpkins. 15erella's fairy godmother chants the magic words, Quintadentity, Quintadentity, Quindu, again, and waves her magic wand again to turn the 15 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 30 strong horses, and then 15erella is reclosed into a gown and crown. 15erella said, I've never seen such a quintuple-tastic gown, and get a load of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? 15erella's fairy godmother said, well, you can't. But have fun, 15erella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. 15erella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Quintacumbling was wondering who he should marry. Fiona to Nina say all together, He's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 15erella. Prince Quintacumbling then asks, May I have this dance? 15erella responds, I would be delighted. 15erella and Prince Quintacumbling danced happily together. But later, 15erella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Quintuckling was really worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around Quintucklingham to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door of the home where Cinderella and her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of Cinderella, Prince Quintuckling finds Fiona and Nina. He then said, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper?" Fiona is first, but her foot is too big. Isabella is next, but her foot is too small. The rest are the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Quintuckling notices Cinderella's sweet singing. The glass slipper fits! Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Quintuckling back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. And if you want to see some sequels, tell your friends about it. And maybe I can do it. A big tradition. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrews Everything proudly presents 15 Relative. 15 Wishes Come True. Sequel to 15 Cinderella, which is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon two times, Cinderella and Prince Quintuckling were happily married. But Fiona, Isabella, Farah, Tina, Eloise, and Nina have lots of tricks up their sleeves. Several weeks later, Cinderella is pregnant but very ill. It's a good thing Cinderella's fairy godmother knows a spell that can cure her. So she chants the magic words. Quintidentity, quintidentity, quintu! And waves her magic wand. Because of that, the baby is cured and a girl. They name her Fatima. A week later, to celebrate Fatima's birth, they put on a light show. But on one night, while Cinderella and Prince Quintuckling were sleeping, Fiona, Isabella, Farah, Tina, Eliza, Eloise, and Nina steal Fatima and take her to the middle of nowhere. The king of Quintuckling, his messenger, saw it and said, "Oh no, she's in trouble! Oh, big trouble! Oh no! He then goes over to the king of Quintuckling and tells him, "Your Majesty, your granddaughter is captured." The king of Quintuckling gets so infuriated that he yells, "Sound the alarm!" And his messenger blows a trumpet alarm that his guards hear in order to find Fatima. Cinderella and Prince Quintuckling were really worried that they might never see Fatima again. But Fiona, Isabella, Farah, Tina, Eliza, Eloise, and Nina was planned as interrupted by Fatima's foster parents, Fernando and Florence. Fernando said, "What are you doing all alone, little lady?" Florence responds, "I don't know, darling. Let's take her home." "Come back with our study," said Fiona, Isabella, Farah, Tina, Eliza, Eloise, and Nina all together. And Cinderella was 15 years later. Fatima is a teenager now, and she's playing with a group of teenage girls, but then said, "Wait, where does that cave lead?" As she finds a strange cave and goes inside to find out. she finds a magic lamp. Meanwhile, back at Quintacumblingham, Cinderella and Prince Quintacumbling are now full of despair, as they will never see Fatima again. Fatima rubs the magic lamp, and a genie comes out of the lamp and says, "Oh, thank you so much, young lady. I've been stuck in the lamp for 15,015 years. You rubbed the lamp and set me free. As a thank you for that, I must grant you 15 wishes." Suddenly, someone screamed, "Help! Someone is stuck in quicksand!" Fatima uses her first wish to get him out by saying, "I wish he was out of the quicksand." The genie said, "Your wish is my command." Because of that, he was out. Later, Fernando and Florence then tell Fatima where they found her. Near Quintacumblingham, Fatima is surprised about the news, and so she begins her journey home. Another 15 years later, Fatima uses the other 13 wishes. She is 30 years old now and only has one wish left. Fiona, Isabella, Farah, Tina, Eloisa, and Nina tried to steal her again but couldn't find her. They complain except for Nina, who found Fatima. Fatima uses her 15th and final wish and says, "I wish my evil stab hands would not stop me." The genie said, "Your wish is my command." In turn, Fiona, Isabella, Farah, Tina, Lisa, Eloise, and Nina into stone statues. A celebration in Quintacumblingham welcomes Fatima home. Cinderella and Prince Quintacumbling were really worried and hugged Fatima to welcome their daughter home. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Sure is a fun story, right? And if you want to see maybe tomorrow, 15 3, Quintacumbling Love and Glee, tell your friends about it. Maybe this could be a daily tradition. Take care. Bye. And now, Anna Knows Everything proudly presents 15 3, a Quintacumbling Spree. A second sequel to 15 based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon 3 times, 15 and Prince Quintacumbling and their 30-year-old daughter Fatima went for a walk. Suddenly, someone screamed, "Help!" A man named Felix is stuck under a rock. Fatima tries to lift the rock to save Felix, but she's not strong enough. 15's fairy godmother, Arai, comes to help and cast a spell to lift the rock. Felix said, "Thank you so much, Fatima and Quintacumbling family." And he and Fatima share a kiss. The king at Quintacumblingham is so impressed that he offers Felix a visit to the castle. And so Felix agrees, but Fiona, Isabella, Farah, Tina, Elisa, Eloise, and Nina still have lots of tricks up their sleeves. Later, at the castle, Fatima and Felix share a romantic dance. And 15 weeks later, a wedding is planned. And for Fatima and Felix's marriage. But Fiona, Isabella, Farah, Tina, Eloise, and Nina capture Cinderella and Prince Quintacumbling. Felix manages to save his parents alive by killing Fiona, Isabella, Farah, Tina, Eloise, and Nina, only for them to steal Cinderella's fairy godmother's magic wand to catch the storm, resulting in the wedding being ruined and cut short. Fortunately, Fatima manages to use a knife to kill Fiona, the oldest stepsister that causes her to drop Cinderella's fairy godmother's magic wand and catches it. And not a minute too soon, the wedding is saved! And so are Cinderella and Prince Quintupling. The king of Quintuplingham said, "My dear granddaughter, such bravery that there's one thing only, a magical necklace. Just rub the jewel on it, but only for emergencies." Fatima accepted the warning. And then they all lived happily ever after. The end. And Andrew's Doers, if you want to see some more sequels, tell your friends about it. And yes, maybe it can be a daily tradition. And I hope you enjoyed this story. And I bet you want to see 15 4. Take care! Bye! And now, Andrew Knows Everything proudly presents 15 4. The Legend of Mount 15 or More. A third sequel to 15 based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon 4 times, Fatima and Felix were getting ready to have their very first child. But Fiona, Isabella, Farah, Tina, Eliza, Eloise, and Nina still have lots of tricks up their sleeves. 15 fairy godmother tries to stop them, but they steal her magic wand and lock her up. They then use it to send Fatima and Felix on top of Mount 15 or More. Fatima and Felix don't give up, though. They find a sled to slide down from Mount 15 or More. But along the way, they encounter the legendary Big 15, a scary monster who lives on top of Mount 15 or More, has 3 hands and a question mark on his belly to show the missing number, and loves puzzles. Big 15 said, 15 divided by what equals 5? And what equals 3? That causes him to spit out new friends. The new friends' names are Aiden, Braden, and Caden. They introduce each other and become good friends. Fatima and Felix then invite Aiden, Braden, and Caden to the castle, and so they gladly accept. Later, when they are home, the king of Quintuplingham is so impressed, and just in time, Fatima is pregnant. And 15 and Prince Quintupling are 75 years old now. And the king of Quintuplingham himself is over 100 years old. A boy is named Fernando. The king of Quintuplinham's great-grandson, the queen of Cinderella, and Prince Quintuplingham, grandson, and Fatima and Felix's son. And 15's fairy godmother got her wand back. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. And maybe you're right. Maybe this could be a daily tradition. And good night, everybody. Take care. Bye. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.